وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Good evening, everybody. It's me again. Yes, your dreaded Sukhi Wahiwala here this evening on the Salaam Radio show and the Empower Hours show, our weekly instalment of empowering stories, individuals who have truly changed their worlds and others as well. You know the drill. This week we're not going to let you down in the slightest. If you'd like to connect with us, if you're on the salamradio.co.uk app, alternative the actual downloaded app for iOS and Android, please feel free to open up live and have a listen. This evening we will be talking, oh goodness me, I'm impressed myself even just by listening to it. So we've got a tremendously beautiful soul who I'm going to be speaking to today. If you'd like to get involved, you know the drill. The Inspired Tribe, you know how to connect with everybody else. We are live on Facebook Live on Salaam Radio, and we're also live on YouTube Live. So thoroughly enjoy people getting involved and interacting. If you'd like to text us directly today at the studio, by all means, please do. It's 07745 278 978. So, this evening, the Empower Hour, our weekly installment, hey? This evening, every Tuesday evening with us today. So, I'm not sure whether you've been enjoying the conversation of the type of people that we bring on board. Do feel free at any stage at all to communicate with the team over here on studio or info@salamradio.co.uk, or if you'd like to talk directly to Michelle here, Michelle Batty, who's actually the manager here at the studio, it's studio@salamradio.co.uk. If you just let us know what kind of things you'd like to hear and see from our team. We're kind of pre-booked for the best part of 6 months of the year ahead, but we're always open to the conversation of individuals. If you know people who would like to be involved on the radio, and I'd happily bring them on. This evening, you know what? I've had the massively good fortune of spending some time. If you're looking on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, you can see us here. I've had the massive good fortune of actually just, I can't explain to yourself how I could say, I think it was as though we kind of knew each other from a last past life. That kind of a communication story. Today, this evening, we have Lisa, and if I was to say to herself, she feels like a sister already. It's one of those sort of moments in conversation. She's got a beautiful smile. You can hear her and see her there. But I promise you, it's the first time we've ever met this evening. We have, well, okay, let me just give her an introduction. Let's just say this. She's Lisa Hawkyard. So we're here this evening. We're going to see and we're going to touch and we're going to be very close and nitty-gritty with an individual who has been a single mum of two, who started off as being a single mum of two beautiful young children with a vision to never let them go without. And so she basically stood, sometimes with as little as £10 free cash a week, and I'm sure you can all understand and resonate with that sort of feeling and understanding. She held 9 jobs, I mean seriously, to ensure that she gave everything to her children, from young lessons and stuff, which we'll touch on in a moment, through to spawning and actually encouraging and help evolving one of our X Factor stars, Louisa Johnson. So if anybody was there this evening and you've been a fan like I have of her beautiful voice, we have her mum here this evening in the studio. But today she's also in her own right an independent lady who has created an awesome program of confidence instillment in others, so that she can empower women to the level that they should be playing at in their life. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Lisa. Lisa, please welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the intro.
We're going to have a nice little giggly night tonight.
We are.
Yes, it is. It's going to be one of those moments.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, I gave a beautiful conversation there, and you've already touched with my, you spoke to my wife just very shortly earlier, and she's smitten by you already, by the way. So, Pavinda, I've mentioned the details on that. So, I'm going to start with a few things. We're going to touch base with Louisa as well, your daughter, but really, I'd like to just get a bit closer with the first half of our meetings, our interview is always about you as a human being. How was it bringing up 2 children on your own? As you said, you had nailed down up to nine jobs at a time, moving around all over the place. And just a little bit of information, please share.
Well, firstly, thank you for having me here. Really,
it's
honoured,
our pleasure.
Really honoured. So, in answer to your question, it was truthfully really, really hard. My drive to keep going was for my children to do the best that I possibly could with the circumstances that were given at that time. I kind of accepted things as my lot. I now know different, but in that time, I was like, I just need to do the best that I can in this moment to then lead by example, show the children that they can be whatever they need to be, and I'll just keep on trucking, basically.
But Lisa, you say it very softly there, but there's something that's really important to understand. I mean, the children of today, they're open to social media and these sort of conversations, and the you can do anything kind of evidence, the supporting children, the digging deeper resource, and these kind of motivational sort of like inspirational videos and influences that we've got in our life. But in the era you're talking about is in the 90s. There was no such thing as social media. There was no YouTube. There was no Twitter. There was none of that, right?
Yeah.
And no Facebook, Insta. And then that's really drastic for some of the kids of today, but there was no Insta. The question I arise is that within yourself, you had a very beautiful, humble upbringing from Essex, East End area. What was it within your world that even gave you that message? Because, wow, having current modern media influences, we can always recite and regurgitate as much information as we want to do and make it sound great. But you were doing this in person a period of time where it was not really even open to the world. So please help.
I think my upbringing, very lovely, really lovely upbringing, but I think it was a case of sometimes like that. There's the block. That's as far as you can go. And there was something in me. It was like, well, why is that? Why? Yeah, exactly. So why not exactly that? And what if this happens? I'll go, well, what if this happens? So there's something in me where I've always just like, no, I'm not accepting that. And I think because my children literally are my absolute everything, it was like I just wanted the best for them. So one of the first things I always kind of say what comes into my head. So one of the things is I really listened to both of them. My son and my daughter. Whatever they said, I really listened. And so if they wanted something, if they had an urge for something, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Okay, I wouldn't be like, no, you can't do that because we can't.
Wow.
So there's always a way. There's always a way.
But Lisa, once again, this sort of conversation is very modern.
Yeah.
But we are talking about a period when the kids were late 90s. So I think, without saying a bit funny, but I think, God's light was definitely on yourself to emanate within you. But even that philosophy, that mindset of the time must have been really hard to keep up, right?
Yeah, it can, because I think sometimes as well when you're surrounded by, whoever you're surrounded by, to be a certain way, sometimes you feel like you're going against the grain. So sometimes you feel very isolated, very alone, very like there's something wrong with you, And honestly, the drive for my kids to be the best they possibly could be, and maybe there was a little bit of mum's guilt in there as well, if I'm honest.
Right.
Just like, okay, I've got to prove myself.
Yeah.
I've got to prove to them. I want to lead by example. I want them to be the best they can be, because maybe at one point I thought I've failed.
Oh, yes.
So it was like, okay, so if I've failed, let's give them the drive to.
Let's try to be the best we can possibly be for our children, right?
Yeah.
Right, but logically, you hadn't failed. But
No.
Not at all, not even in the slightest, because when we talk about it in the second half, we'll touch base a little bit more about what you're up to today, which is obviously the confidence coaching.
Yeah.
But if it's okay, we the Inspired Tribe really do like to listen, and we spend a lot of hours listening to, understanding, and replaying these sort of videos and audios that we come through, and live on radio as well. So, what specifically do you feel was kind of like your driver through these hard times? You know, there has to be usually some kind of rhetorical thought process that goes through your mind. Yes.
Yeah, it's to create two humans that can be the best they possibly can be.
Wow. And
to lift them, even through adversity, even through my struggles, even through whatever, is just to always have that belief in them. Because if people are believed in,
yes,
they're going to flourish. And my kids are my world, and that's my belief, and that's what I carry through into my work now. Is I believe in you.
Oh, God bless you. And we were working. Would you believe I was working on somebody's catch line, and it's like "believe in me." So they've got it's a trademark now, so we can't use it now. But it's a trademark for one of my clients. But "believe in me." This is wonderful to hear. So in the conversations, if you could just share, you were around the East London area, is that right?
We were in Essex.
Essex,
so,
yes.
Yeah, so we kind of moved around from up north originally, but this situation when I was on my own with the kids, that was we were in Thurrock in Grays.
Grays,
yeah,
okay,
near
good,
Lakeside.
Right.
Yeah.
So a question to yourself then. What sort of jobs did you do? Because you really, really, really pushed the boat
I had
out.
an array of jobs.
It's like burning the candle at both ends, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a nanny.
Mm-hmm.
I was a creche supervisor. I sold Avon, pushing Finn in his buggy door to door.
Oh my goodness. Finn being your younger son, right?
Yeah, my son. He's now 18 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I had a round of cleaning jobs, so many cleaning jobs at one time. So I'd literally just kind of house hop.
House hop,
yeah,
literally.
Yeah, literally.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
But there was something different that you did, right? Because obviously you have a strong belief in connection of mum or parent and child, right? So just to have a little conversation around that, because there was something different. You took your children with you instead of keeping them separate from yourself.
Yeah.
Help us understand why and what that thought was.
So going back to when I was 19, I moved down to London. I was a nanny. And I loved the job, and I loved the families that I worked for, but I also was working sort of 12, 13-hour days while the parents were at work.
Wow.
And that's absolutely fine. But for me, I realised that when I had my own children, that's something I wanted my kids with me.
I understand.
So how fate took its course and I was obviously a single parent, I was like, okay, whatever I do, I want the kids to come with me for their security, because what we were going through was very emotionally upsetting. So it's like, no, I want my children with me, so I just know that they're okay and keep an eye on them. Yeah. So I would only take a job where I could take my children.
That is such a inspiring thought as well, because I'm sure there's many mums who've had to, maybe a little bit of trip in the conversation where they couldn't necessarily afford having somebody to look after their own children.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have what we call an extended family.
Yeah.
Elders, parents, that kind of thing they could leave the kids with. So, but you've kind of proven, and I'm hoping that audiences listening tonight, the Inspired Tribe are listening, that they feel the understanding that everything is possible.
It really, really is. And just to touch on a point there as well, I didn't have any, literally biological family close by. Yeah, there was, the nearest family was 2 hours away, and the rest of my family was up north.
They were still up north, right?
Yes,
Got it, wow.
Yeah, so I think it was a case of that. And if I'm really honest as well, as much as I was my children's security, they were my security as well.
Yeah,
so
bless.
It was like the Three Musketeers. We were just like...
a team.
Yeah.
The team that went through.
Yeah.
We're going to go through in the second half a bit more of the evidence of what you're up to today, but there was also something in there, can we just take a little bit about one of your children, if I may? Of course, mums are going to be inspired truly about the fact that there is a way, and it is a choice. Yes. I know you talk about this with other people. So when you had Louisa Johnson, yes, so Louisa being the X Factor star. Let's get my teeth back in, Sukhi. So I hope if she's listening tonight, then she'll be seeing Mum as well, and they're saying that. So, but there was a conversation that you had with me earlier, and you were talking around the fact that you would literally inspire your children without even forward thinking, without even knowing what you were doing. Yeah. Please, there was a scene in the park. Please tell me what you were up to. You'd give them a positive vibration.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, like, I always listened to them, whatever they wanted to be. Want to be a footballer, I want to be this, want to be that. And Lou was very much like, I want to be a singer, I want to be famous, etc., etc. And I didn't know what I was doing then, but I just used to play games with them. So we'd be we'd literally go to Lakeside and we'd be shopping, we'd be walking along, and I'd be going, "Can you hear that?" And she'd be like, "What?" And I was like, "Can you hear that?" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "They're saying there's Louisa Johnson, there's Louisa Johnson."
Oh, wow.
So it was just, and we just played, we literally played games.
It was literally that gameplay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she wasn't. She wanted to be famous. So as a mum, you didn't want her to have that framework that she could or could not, because and so you were literally playing a game with her and saying,
Yeah.
"Look at those people. They're talking about Louisa Johnson."
Yeah.
So how do you think that really affected her and helped her?
Because it was just embedded in her. Because we literally played the game, so therefore she was absorbing it. It wasn't about, you have to do this and you've got to do this. It was easy. It was just easy, and it was just really, really flowing. So it was like, and at not any point with either of my children did I say, no, you can't do that.
Wow.
Why
And
not? Why put a lid on it?
Got it.
'Cause
So
who
we've got
knows?
the lid,
Yeah.
a stopper, a block,
Yeah.
or what's called a glass ceiling. Yes.
Exactly.
So how and why would you reduce it? So this is beautiful to hear, and I'm hoping other mums are probably thinking about this as well, and other dads are thinking when their children come across with this aspiration and saying, "I would like to become this," that maybe we could just change our views and say, "Do you know what? Let's try that."
Yeah.
What do you need to do in order to be that kind of thing? So with yourself, I mean, that's nurturing the kids, but how did you nurture yourself, Lisa? Sorry.
What, at that time?
Yes.
I don't know if I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to be honest, no, that's not true. I used to go to the gym a lot. I used to I wasn't as spiritual as I am now. I didn't really
understand.
take on board meditation and anything which is me now.
Principally you.
Yeah.
That's what gives you your energy and your cool
Yeah,
connection.
absolutely. And like my morning routine. But at the time, it really was just for me at that time to make sure my children were okay was just everything to me, because everything could be so different. So it's just like, as long if they're all right, I'm all right. And now realise if I'm all right, they're all right.
Wow.
So
that really does make a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
it makes a lot of ring, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If my children are okay,
Yeah.
if they're all right, then I'm all right.
Yeah.
And if I'm all right, then they'll be all right.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful message to be had.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was my main thing, just to make sure if they were happy, I was happy. And life wasn't easy. It was, there was some really, really tough times, but as long as I could see that they were okay, and I would just give them what I could. We had our own little routines that we had, just happy things, happy memories that we look back on now and it's like, oh, that was so good.
That was so
Yeah, and it didn't cost a penny.
These little things, it's a beautiful message to have for the next generation, is it not?
Yeah.
That there is a little bit of a challenge sometimes that children may sometimes assume that spending money is the happiness that we're looking for, but actually it was the memory, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was a gentleman which we mentioned. His name is Alfred Korsipsky, Professor Alfred Korsipsky. And he wrote a book called Science and Sanity, we were talking about earlier. And he says that humans are meaning-making machines. Meanings being nothing more, nothing less than a memory.
Yeah.
Something that's meaningful. So beautifully said by yourself. Wonderful. So if I could just evolve it just a little bit for you. You won't believe how fast the time's going, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know.
Flying?
We're
Oh,
having some fun,
wow.
right? But it's already 17
Yeah.
minutes past. So we've only got about 6 or 7 minutes longer.
Okay.
But we're going to have fun.
We are.
That's the truth. Little thinking about yourself. I mean, your entrepreneurial journey itself, because you're a true entrepreneur without a doubt, your entrepreneur, which I'd call it your business journey, started quite young as well. So even though you were working and doing your bits and bobs and conversation, I mean, it'd be wonderful just to hear that little story with one of your friends, one of the children's aunts, and the conversation around working in the entrepreneurial field of being a driving instructor as well, an independent driving instructor. Please.
Yeah, so when the children got to a point where they didn't want to come to all these jobs with me.
So
right,
the age, I was going to say, right, we got it now. So
Yeah.
they were happy to go to a certain extent.
and then they weren't.
And then they weren't.
Just
And
like
I'm
that.
sure we can all feel it, yes.
Yeah. So again, I listened to them. I was like, okay, this isn't working anymore. So it's like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And again, back then, I didn't really understand how it all worked. But it's like, you need to do something you enjoy. Otherwise, going to work isn't a pleasure. And then it doesn't, it doesn't feel like work. So it's like, okay, so we've got some friends, relatives over in Australia, and she was a driving instructor, and she was like,
all right,
why don't you do that? I was like, well, I really love driving. I absolutely love driving. Shout out to my dad, because he really got me into driving. So he was really amazing. And
say hi, Dad.
Yeah, all right, Daddy. And so she's like, you need to get in touch with this guy. He's got a driving school near you. And I was like, oh, okay. So literally down the road. So I went to speak to Tony at Clearways, and off I went down there, and I decided that I was going to become a driving instructor. Borrowed the money, and it was the hardest thing. Like, considering I'd been driving for years, but I had to wake my brain up again. But it was, I just had to work something around the children. I'm thinking, all these jobs are not working, so I need one thing where I can just lump it all together, and then I can choose my hours again to fit around my children.
Yeah, and do and be.
Yeah. So by that time, Lou was at school, Finn had started at school, so it was like, okay, this is perfect timing to fit in around school hours. Mm-hmm. And then every other weekend they were at their dad's, so I could work every other weekend. And then when they were with me, I didn't need to work. So
that truly makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you touched something there. Now, I'm very certain that there's listeners tonight who have kind of forgotten how to be academic, or even getting themselves open to the vibration of learning again.
Yeah.
You touched them. You said, I woke my brain up again. So you're going to have to evolve that a little bit further, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, number one, it was like I had the drive to do something different, literally drive.
I was going to say, let's not
part
the pun. Yes, that's right, yeah.
So I had the drive to do something different. And because, again, it was powered by making sure my children were okay, that was like my incentive. I took it slowly, because it was a massive, massive change of what I was used to doing. And it was hard, but I still had, knowing the end result was going to be worth it. So if the end result wasn't like powering me, then I think I would have given up.
Oh wow.
So it was more like, okay, I need to do this for the children.
Good. I was just going to ask you, what was your end result then? The children.
Always.
And it's about the stability of the children? Is that right?
Yeah, the stability, financial, showing them that, again, you can have whatever you want, that you don't have to accept life as it is, that you can just keep moving if you choose to.
Love it. Absolutely beautiful. One of the things that really touches me there in the inspirational side of things is the fact that you woke this side of your brain again, the academic, the thinking, the processing side of things.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that other people do not use it at that time, but there comes a time when you know that it's good to learn and grow once again. Now, there's an old saying that we have within the Sikh faith: if you're not a man who's not living, is a man who is not loving is not ultimately living, and if you're not teaching and sharing with us, you're ultimately not living either. So the principle is, the aim is to love and teach others in order for you to evolve your own life. Yeah. Now, I know with yourself you always worked with children, so you had this as a nanny and as a nursery nurse, in the nursery teacher itself, assistant. In those environments, when you helped children, did it do anything for you as well in the nurture? Yeah,
absolutely. I am a nurturer. That's me through and through. So I always love to be helping. I've had to realise there's boundaries over the time. It has to be appreciated. But 100%, I always nurture. I was once told to stop nurturing. Like, that's like cutting off my left hand. I can't do that. That's part of who I am. So it was just, I love seeing people succeed. I love building people up. There's been many times in my life where I've been pulled down, and it's not a good feeling, and I don't ever want to see anyone else go through that. So if I can in some way, whether it's words, actions, work, whatever it is, I just like to try and build people up.
So that basically kind of explains a little bit of how you nurtured Louisa at such a young age. Unconsciously, without really being effectively knowing that is the right way to build, to evolve a child. Saying you can, a person really gets an major amount of confidence from that as well. And as you said, that they've already experienced it, It's like a bit like the games that Mum used to play with myself, but it wasn't really games. She'd have a conversation with me, and she'd say, "This is all yours. You are a business person. You will consistently be helpful to other people and help them. This is what we do." That kind of thing. I think it's really wonderful.
And I think as well with my son, he's got that little entrepreneurial streak as well. But but he's, again with him, I've always said, "Oh, you're just going to do so well financially." And he's working in the city. He's been in a job for 2 years. He was the youngest ever employee in recruitment, and he's now been promoted 3 times in 2 years. And it's how. Thank you. It's how you talk to people, and the words that you're saying. Those that you can make or break a person with words. You really
Truly
can.
said. Now that sits beautifully with your conversation that we're going to have after the break. We've still got a minute or so, but this actually ties in beautifully with your confidence coaching, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you find people? You said when you make or break a person through language, through how you would evolve an individual. How important is it to support that mindset?
Huge. And again, we can make or break ourselves because we're listening. We are listening to our own words. So it's,
always.
Yeah, so it's about tweaking the words that you use and turning them around to give them the absolute best benefit you can to yourself.
We call them power words.
Yes.
You turn them to something that gives you power and
Yes.
focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you've enjoyed it so far, as I have, I told you the time will disappear
it's
just
really
like
gone
that.
quickly.
Can you believe we're nearing the end of part 1?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
flown.
Well, we're here with Lisa. She is a true inspiration to be here. She's been an entrepreneur, as being a mum. She's been a person who's held down multiple businesses, multiple jobs, and continued. But today, she has nurtured an amazing and studied and learnt a new way of creating a curriculum and a process, which we're going to delve into just after the break at 26 minutes past. And we're going to see how she helps other people through her confidence coaching today and assisting them. So if you're still with us, do not tune out. Tune straight back in. See you in 4 minutes.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road, Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
There's a million choices available for dining out in Leeds.
But if you want something special, there's only one name to remember.
Mumtaz Leeds.
Relax in our newly refurbished Riverside restaurant.
Enjoy exquisite home cooking from our brand new menu. Upgrade to the Mumtaz Leeds experience.
And the price? Well, we're better value than ever before.
Mumtaz Leeds, Chadwick Street, Leeds, LS10 1PJ. Call 0113 242 4211.
Free car parking available.
कोई रत्तियां कमीज़ानी लमाना मारे मामा मिठियां में चीज़ानी। मेरा नाम मुकद्दस है और कोट मेरा घर है और ये मेरे लिए किसी जन्नत से कम नहीं। हमारे भी कुछ ख्वाब हैं जिनकी ताबीर को हमें पाना है।
आइए इन बच्चों के ताबनाक मुस्तकबिल के लिए अपना हिस्सा डालिए। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात, खैरात और इमदाद कोट को दीजिए।
UK number 0300 123 7774. Website coat.org.uk.
Al-Murad Tiles. With over 70 stores nationwide, we are now open in Peterborough. Up to 50% discount offers now on. Largest selection of tiles. Full bathroom suites from only £189. Paint, LED lighting, laminate flooring from only £7.99. Over 1,000 designs of wallpaper in stock. We have everything you need. Come and visit us at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH. or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Almurad Tiles, now open.
In the mood for some authentic Desi food? Try Desi Restaurant on Lincoln Road. Start your day right with our Desi breakfast every day from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Halva puri, channa, nihari, paya, paratha and omelette. Need a tasty lunch? Every day 1 to 4 p.m. we've got fast food, pizzas, kebab sandwiches, tandoori dishes, balti dishes, biryanis and much more. We're also open every evening 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Try our Desi Tawa special or our fresh handi, 1 kg chicken or lamb on the bone, cooked to order. Eat in, take away or free delivery. Visit desirestaurant.co.uk to view the full menu and order online. 60-seat capacity and a private function room. Catering service also available. Desi Restaurant, 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Call us now on 555 795.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Good evening, everybody. I'm back to the Empower Hour this evening with your host, a weekly host, Sukhi Wahiwala, and I hope you're enjoying some of the amazing people that bring in this evening. You already know we're talking about Lisa, who's a confidence coach, and she's going to get really nitty-gritty with the details of what we're going to touch earlier on. If you had a chance, and if you've missed maybe the first half, please step up and just have a listen to the first half and see how amazing the journey's been. You know, what she's actually achieved. There's some brilliant sound bites in that first section. But Lisa, welcome back.
Thank you.
Have you enjoyed it so far?
Loving it.
Yeah?
Yes, thank you.
Nice and relaxed, with a few million people watching. No, joke.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and mention all the names. Yeah. Any shout-outs at all?
Oh, to my kids.
Yeah.
To my kids, my everybody's. It's all good. My ladies, my community.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, your current journey. You know, what you're actually up to today. You know, you work within the confidence arena. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
So what does it actually mean to the lame, dimmy person like me?
Oh, bless. Okay, so it's about self-belief.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being confident in the person that you are, not what other people think you should be.
Love it.
Because I think confidence comes in lots of different ranges. And, you know, there was a time where I used to think, a confident person would be suited and booted and the biggest, loudest person in the room. Whereas something I like to say about myself, actually, I'm a confident introvert. So
very powerful.
Yeah, be confident in who you are and as you are, and that's okay. And the more you're okay and comfortable in your skin, the more you're likely to flourish. Whereas if you think you have to be like someone else, you're constantly going to be comparing yourself to other people.
Which is an expectancy of failure, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, in context, what kind of things would you attribute to lack of confidence?
I think possibly the way that you've been brought up, or circumstances have been dealt a certain way. So, you know, we're always influenced by the people we surround ourselves with.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I've worked with many women who have actually been very, very confident, and through circumstance, like myself, situations happen, and then suddenly you just find yourself being drained, and you don't even realise it, and then it's suddenly happened. And like, how did that happen? Because I used to be
bubbly.
Yeah. I used to be this, I used to be that, and then suddenly it's gone. So, circumstances, or maybe you set yourself a too high a standard, and you think you're not good enough if you don't make that grade. And something I talk about a lot is success. You know, what is success to you? So success is actually the person who's maybe struggling with depression. That's getting out of bed in the morning. That's a massive success.
God bless.
You know, or it could be, you know, what do you see? How do you perceive success? You know, being a great mum, you know, sending your first email,
wow.
You know, just tiny little things. I think
so good.
That the word success seems to be made into this big thing, like confidence, this big thing, and it doesn't have to be.
Do you feel, Lisa, what you just said there is really powerful. So do you feel that sometimes people have accidentally layered or positioned the word success and confidence into monetary achievements?
Yes, 100%.
And do you feel, I mean, what have you noticed? Because I'm sure you're working with your clients, and some of them are wealthy. Do they ever get in a situation where you can clearly see that they've set the bar with money and wealth, and I mean, by the way, equally, I'm established myself as well. And I'm truly blessed and in a loving environment within my family. So it's not really about the money aspects of my life, but I won't reject it either, because I also accept it as part of me. So individuals out there, sometimes, do you find that they can kind of stretch the meaning of success to themselves and actually make it alien to themselves as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, it's if how they perceive it. So if they're not, inverted commas, as good as, then they're a failure. Yes. But it's about being as good as you want to be in that moment. And this comparison thing, I don't think social media helps. It's literally rammed at us the whole time.
So well said.
It really, really is. And it's like all you ever see is the square box of social media. You don't see the it's filtered, isn't it? Let's face it. It's all filtered, and
directed towards
if you're that way inclined, and that's all you really see, then you're going to compare yourself with that the whole time, or with anyone in your community. If you're not feeling good enough because of, you're naturally going to compare yourself to someone you think is better than you, and nobody is better than you. No one is better than you, and no one is better than anyone else.
Isn't there a lovely saying, and I think you shared it earlier as well, there's nobody who can be a better you than you.
Yeah.
So how could you be anybody else?
Exactly.
Just be focused on being yourself as opposed to somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah,
is that right?
Absolutely. And there's only one of you in the whole. The whole. Yeah, absolutely. There's one of you. That's pretty amazing.
I think that's truly amazing. Yeah.
So, and just when we realise that, and we realise our attributes, and it doesn't matter if somebody next to you is doing a different deed or different role or financially different, there's something in you as that one person that has something that somebody somewhere needs to hear. And your experiences, your adversities, as with mine, I'm so grateful that everything happened because it's brought me to now.
Brought you to where you are now, and the ability to be able to deliver the loving change that you can bring within people. Do you believe that? I know you do, but I'd love it for the audience to hear, the Inspired Tribe. I want just to ask you a question, Lisa. Do you believe that every single one of us has a message or a journey that we were embarked upon, that we were gifted and given to deliver?
Yeah, I do. I think my belief is that everything's mapped out. Everything is already mapped out. So even this was meant to happen,
It truly was.
So if something doesn't go your way, I'm like, okay, that was meant to happen. What can I learn from that? And it's the lessons and the blessings that then you can pass on to other people with empathy, compassion, and so everything you're experiencing. Some of the people I work with, when we first started, when I was coaching them at the beginning, they were not in the greatest of places, and there's one lady particularly springs to mind, and she has grown so much. She doesn't realise how amazing she is because she's constantly giving this amazing advice to people. And I was like, you've grown, because your experiences that you're now seeing people where you were, and now you're lifting them, and that's what my community is all about. It's beautiful.
Wow. And just before we go into the community conversation, do you see yourself as what we classify as an igniter or a realigner to self's purpose, to life's real purpose?
Yeah, I like to think that I like to always feel that I can see the best in people. I like to encourage that and let them know that. And literally just find that spark. And how I always say, like, tweak the mindset. Just throw the words around a little bit and just change it.
Yeah, and allow them to believe in themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So if we said that life is mapped out, as you just shared, life is already mapped out. So the logic would have it that there was something that person would have to have delivered in this life because it's already mapped out. And what happens is that we spend so much of our time comparing ourselves, using your language, with other individuals that we come off our own railway track. You can visualize, just we come away from the railway track. So do you see yourself as a person who tends to see the best in somebody, sees their journey, and then realigns them with their journey so they can be the brightest light they possibly can?
Yeah.
And thus the confidence increases, and then their journey starts to make sense.
Definitely. And I think as well, it's important, we mentioned it earlier, it's important to realise that we can't control what's going on around us, but we can control how we choose to respond or react to it.
Wonderful.
You know, so and one of the analogies, if any of my lot are listening, I always talk about a motorway. So you could be in London and you're driving up to Scotland. You know, you're on the motorway. All the cars are going in the same direction. Okay, some are in the inside lane, some are overtaking, some are driving Mercedes, some are driving motorbikes. You might stop off at the fuel to refuel. That's okay. You can do that. You might get a flat. Okay, we need to stop and do that. But you're all essentially going in the same direction, but nobody is going exactly at the same pace.
What a beautiful analogy.
It's just about staying literally in your own lane. I know if my lot are listening, they'll be smiling because I say it all the time. Just staying in your own lane and just knowing that the end is in sight. And if you do have to take a little detour, so be it. But you can just bring yourself back. So it's almost like just what is it that you actually want? What do you want to achieve for yourself? And it doesn't have to be comparing to anybody else, but what is important to you in this moment, and know that you will get there if you just keep that vision in sight. But it's okay to sometimes stop. It's okay.
Brilliant. You know, I'm not sure if anybody's realising, who's listening, that is so superb as a message, being able to stop and take a pause, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and dropping off the motorway for a small welcome break. Having a bit of food, nourishment, that kind of thing, or even repairing your flat or waiting for the RAC to come up and have a look at it. It's all okay.
It is.
Wow.
Because
what a message.
It's all as it should be.
And there's no race,
and
right?
It's all mapped out. So it's fine.
I love this road. And I love this conversation. I love the fact it's on a map. Yeah, you can't tell, can you?
No, not much.
In a lovely, wonderful way. So if I may ask you a few questions, obviously please don't mention any names, but are there any scenarios that you've assisted people in so that our audience this evening can just kind of maybe liken themselves a little bit to the stuff that you've assisted other people with through your confidence coaching?
There's an array of different scenarios, but it's let me think. So there's, again, I won't mention names, but there's somebody who's amazing, would have been the confident person we were talking about, but underneath the confidence was covering, or the confidence was actually covering up a massive insecurity.
The bravado.
Yes. So this person was quite outspoken, but would shy away at home, you know, so it would come out the door like all guns blazing, but actually underneath it all. So gradually what we've done, we've just worked with her just to actually, okay, what is it that you want? What do you like? Don't worry about what other people think. And just instilling, just through repetition, tweaking the words, how she speaks to herself, because like I say, with affirmations, positive affirmations.
And just for our audience, what is an affirmation, just so that people can understand this?
An affirmation, in layman's terms, is when you're constantly repeating something to yourself. But a positive affirmation is when you're repeating something that's actually going to benefit you. So the person that always I hate myself, that's an affirmation. A positive affirmation is I love myself. Okay.
I like it. So it's kind of the flip side of that, right?
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I know we're all both trained in this, but just for the audience, I'm just clarifying that so we can understand that. So if somebody like a parent, or you as a parent, are saying to your children, come on, you can't do that. That's not allowed, or that's not this, or don't you know you can't achieve this? Or could that be flipped in a moment? I mean, could they start to be thinking about their children and saying, actually, what if, okay, well, like you just said earlier on, you know, that being present in that moment and realizing, well, this is my now, and this is my child, and I really want to assure that they want to progress themselves. So what would they kind of turn some of these, you could say statements into? So stop it, you can't do that. You know, us, we're working class, and the rich people are not nice, and that kind of stuff. Are they the kind of things that we can flip?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody, like, so for example, instead of if a child is really adamant about, or anyone doing something, rather than saying, oh no, you can't do that, how would you think you could do that? Or the other one is when you, not like if you, when you, because like when you go to work, or when,
this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's right, because if is a doubt, isn't it?
Yes.
So just by using the word when, then it's actually going to happen.
I love it. So that beautiful preframes there. Thank you. Do not stop because of me.
No,
but you know that that's a wonderful challenge and wonderful stretch for people. So as a parent, as a friend, instead of saying something along the lines of that, if you can do that, that'll be great. But okay, so when you do that, that'll be a nice way of saying it. That's very flipped.
It's calmer as well.
Very calm. It's very supporting, isn't it? Yeah, and very
supports belief. It's belief.
Exactly my words, Ava. So it's much more belief orientated.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you could also be saying that, okay, if it's something that you don't agree with, you could say, well, okay, how would you achieve that?
That's it.
So you're just going to get clear in the brain.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could even, you said earlier on, you were saying something like you could even evolve that end goal for them and say to them, well, do you know what that could be like? Is that really what you want to do?
Yeah, and it's remembering we've got these amazing higher mental faculties. We've got the imagination. The imagination gets switched off, let's face it, when we go to school. Don't daydream, don't do this. Why not daydream? Yeah. Why not visualise? That's daydreaming, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So it's
kind of connecting it, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's about, remembering, when we were little, we made amazing things out of boxes and pans. So just because we're all big and grown up doesn't mean to say we can't still do that.
So don't come around my house next time when I've got the pans on the floor and I'm playing, and I'll be sitting there. I'll be playing games. But that's so beautifully said, honestly, Lisa. But there's something deeper there. I just want to make sure the children understand this is not about daydreaming at a time when you're supposed to be doing some work. This is do the work and listen to a story and visualize yourself as well. There's another one of our clients, which I'll bring on soon as well, and he's a school teacher here in Peterborough, and his name is Ranjit. He also has created a philosophy around art. And he uses art for actual academic studies, evolving mathematics with art, English with art, etc. But we'll talk about that. It's principally similar to what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like it's inspired action, isn't it? It's like if you're thinking it, then find a way to do it. And something I always say is, if you don't know how to do it, ask someone who's already done it or can guide you there. But be brave enough to ask the question, because if you don't ask the question, the answer's always going to be no.
Wow.
But if you ask the question, and even if the answer's no from them, they're going to remember you for being brave enough to ask.
Wow.
So.
And you could even surprise yourself, right?
Absolutely. The thing is as well, you never know where anything is going to lead. Look at our experience today. It's just been incredible meeting you for the first time.
Yes.
And I could have said, oh, actually, no, I don't want to drive up to Peterborough. It's a bit of a long way.
Yes.
Okay, but it's like, okay, I love a road trip. I like driving. Let's go.
I'm a driving instructor.
Exactly.
And I love it because my father's taught me how to drive really well.
So let's go.
So what it really is, honestly, if the audience, if you aren't picking it up, it's like a beam sitting here listening to Lisa. She really is an open-hearted individual who's touching her community. So just conversing about the community. Which community are we talking about? The Facebook community?
So I've got an amazing group of ladies on Facebook. So we've got Breakfast Boost Club, which is like my membership group.
Breakfast Boost Club. What a cool name.
Breakfast Boost Club. So I'm on every morning at 8:00, like doing a bit of morning boost, and they're just amazing, absolutely incredible. And then I've got a free Facebook group called the Confidence Club. So
so people can just become a member of Confidence Club for nothing, yes?
Yeah, Confidence Club community.
So just search Confidence Club community on Facebook, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so that's there.
And just to clarify something, what happens in the Confidence Club and what's the purpose of it? Why would they want to come on board?
So the purpose of the Confidence Club is actually you're in a safe space. Everyone's like-minded, so if people don't want to be in there, they don't have to be in there. But when you're in there, it's about kindness, about respecting each other, about building each other up, supporting each other. So it's, eventually what we find is like, yes, I kind of host the group, but people start to actually have that input, and that also builds confidence. So what I was saying earlier about, some people, when we first meet, they're not feeling a certain way, and as their confidence lifts, they may see somebody else post something that they've been concerned about. They go, well, actually, I've dealt with, like with me, I'm leading by example.
Wow.
I've got my experiences, and those experiences have helped me be compassionate and empathetic to other people. So it's just about building.
So literally what's happening is you've got a chain reaction going on.
It's like a ripple effect.
And you're inspiring others through the ripple effect.
Yeah.
You're actually inspiring others to help others.
Absolutely.
But I've once, I have a very strong belief. My father taught me that all you need is one person who's even one stride ahead of you.
Exactly.
Is that kind of where you're coming
from?
Brilliant. Yeah. And the Breckie Club or the Breckie Boost Club.
Breakfast Boost Club. Yeah. I could call it that, couldn't
I? Live on air, if you don't mind, everybody, you know that I wrote it out. I'm the one who... No, I'm joking. Of course, you're welcome to it. So, with the Breakfast Boost Club, what goes on there?
So in there, that's where I am every morning at 8:00, and I just say hello to everybody, and we use quotes. I use my experiences. It could just whatever literally I'm inspired to talk about, but we all group together. There's weekly posts. There's a live once a week.
Oh, live Facebook live.
Yeah, there's a live once a week on the Confidence Club, and then there's one also in the Breakfast Boost Club.
Okay, and what sort of times are they regular at the same sort of time? And
yeah,
what days?
so tomorrow night actually at 7:00 on the Confidence Club. That's
7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Wednesdays, is that right?
Yes.
7 Wednesday in the Confidence Club.
Yes.
Got it. And then the Breakfast Club?
That's in the mornings at 8:00. That's the membership one.
One. And with the membership one, you mean that there are individuals who pay you who are in your circle?
Yeah, it's like a coach in your pocket. You can just take me anywhere.
Ooh, I like that. Coach in the pocket. So you can take them around, because obviously through the Facebook you can be there.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, could you share some kind of like tips and strategies for everybody, if you don't mind? You know?
Yeah.
You've got such a warm heart and such an academic development process that you talk about with people. Could you just assist everybody? Just to see, I mean, would there be any tips? If you give me like your top 3 tips or something that somebody could actually do with their life, you know, if they're feeling a little bit low, or they're feeling a bit lost, or they're feeling a little inconfident or unconfident, whichever you want to talk about it, and you know, those sort of things, please.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the main things is to actually feel that it's okay to talk. A lot of people feel that they are on their own and they don't belong anywhere, and they feel stuck. And if you find people that you feel you can open up to, it's so important, because we have all, I spoke to you earlier about energy. You know, we have this energy and this mood and this just how we are, and it's so important to understand that energy can be changed. Whatever we give energy to grows. So if we try and do something to build ourselves up, something as simple as listening to music, getting out of bed in the morning and turning the light on straight away, you know, going cleaning your teeth, just something to lift you and boost you up, whatever it may be, but just something to break the cycle of feeling that flatness. And you know, I've been there too. I have struggled with depression over the years, so I know that feeling of the dark cloud descending and feeling helpless and not good enough and all of those things. And that's why I can tap into my clients that feel that way as well. So just by literally voicing how you feel to people that are willing to listen, that's the first thing.
So step 1 is to be open and honest and listen, share with people who want to listen.
Yeah.
And trying that small step, just one thing. Love it. That's it.
One small
just
step.
one thing to change. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And you going?
Another would be how you actually do speak to yourself. I know we've touched on it already, but just start thinking, what's the biggest thing that I say to myself? What am I actually being aware? What am I actually saying to myself on a regular basis? And if it's something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's a shift in your energy. That's not, it's your vibrations dropping, your energy's dropping. So if you're constantly putting yourself down, it's about being brave enough to understand that you can tweak the words. Yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable because you're so ingrained in saying a certain thing to yourself that the new words are going to feel completely alien. But in truth, those words where you're putting yourself down, they're the alien words. But we've just got used to it.
That's beautifully said.
You know,
the words that that negative energy that we're pulling in, that's alien. That's not your truth.
No, that's not.
And you would say basically the same as you did earlier on in the first half in this one, that you just flip it.
Yes.
So if it's something that's negatively impacting you, flip it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Absolutely. And it's as basic as that.
Wonderful. So step 1 we're talking about is do one thing.
Yeah.
You know, just change one thing, talk to somebody, but do something different to your norm.
Yes.
Even if it's a baby step, that's fine. Baby steps are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then the second step 2 is to flip the language and say whatever you're doing in a positive way. Could I just share, I mean, is this something that I could say basically, if I was an individual who went through life being angry, then I can just guarantee that I'll be an expert in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll be good enough to find the anger, something to be angry about, even with this red light sitting here or this paper sitting here. But would I really want to be the expert in anger?
You wouldn't.
No. So this is one of the things.
No. So if I said to you, so let's try a little exercise. So if I said to you, or about talking to yourself, okay? Because I know your wife doesn't see, but if I just said, I love you, the word love straight away has an energy to it. It conjures up something, okay? You can't misinterpret the word love.
No.
Simple
absolutely
as that.
Not.
I love you, okay? And then if I just say, I hate you, which I find I really struggle to say that word, but can you can feel that energy shift?
Contraction, isn't it?
Exactly, like, oh no.
As a moment ago, I felt connected and I just felt disconnected.
Yes. Okay. So think about the words that you're saying. If you feel that energy feeling uncomfortable, then you know the energy's not right for you because it's not resonating with you.
Perfect.
But we get so used to saying, I know I certainly used to, really pulling myself down with those words because I didn't know any different. But it's just like having that awareness, flipping on that conscious mind, thinking, okay, why am I saying that? Who said that to me? You know? That makes
That's
sense.
beautiful. And then, so sometimes you find yourself repeating other people's words.
Absolutely, because that's you're a little computer. So just being programmed.
So feel
it.
Yeah. Check your programming.
Yes.
And get rid of the viruses.
Yes.
Principally. I know it sounds very easy to do, but it is once you start. The first one's a hard one, but the second, third, fourth, fifth becomes natural to you after a while. Of adjusting yourself.
Because what you give energy to grows.
I love it. That's so beautifully said. It's amazing. It's like an energy ball. Whatever you water, the plant grows.
Exactly.
So the third step. Before we've only got 2 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
Can you believe how time's gone again?
Yeah.
How brilliant! This has been an absolute wonderful journey with yourself, by the way, this evening.
Yeah, I've loved it. Thank you. I'd say, let me think. Like thoughts become things. Okay, so thoughts become things. So what you think, you feel, and it can manifest into whatever you want it to be. So if you think you're great, you're going to end up feeling great. If you're having it's like today is not just going to be a good day. Today is a good day.
Love
so
it.
Bring it into there we go. Bring it into the present tense.
Principally, what you did with Louisa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what you did is that you, at age 6 or 5, you were telling us people are talking. It's now.
Yeah.
You are already
Now is all we've got.
Bless you.
Now is what we've got.
We're in our last minute, would you believe? I mean, I'm telling you, on behalf of the audience, I really wanted to thank you on this, but we're not going just yet. A quick message. What was your legacy moment you would like to know?
Always remember you've got a choice.
Ooh.
Always remember you've got a choice. So if you're feeling stuck, if something's pulling you down, whatever it is, remember there is always an opposite. There's always a way through. There's always a way forward. And you've got that choice to say yes or no to anything that you choose.
Do you know, it's been an absolute wonderful pleasure having you on the show this evening. I hope you have, I was going to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much on behalf of the Empower Hour and myself, Sukhi Wahiwala. And I'm just going to synopsize quickly for the audience. I'm going to share what an amazing journey we just had. 3 steps, very, very simple. Keep them at the front of your heart and mindset. Change, flip, be positive in your conversation and realize that your words become you. And I hope to see you next week for your next week's installment on Tuesday between 7 and 8. Once again, good night.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
It doesn't take